As Edo State gradually prepares for its governorship elections, there has been nothing short of fireworks to the ruling People's Democratic Party (PDP). The relationship between the current governor of the state and his deputy has been grabbing the headlines. With party primaries yet to take place to select official flag bearers, the PDP seems to have a lot to sort out internally. Yesterday on the morning show, the deputy governor and PDP governorship aspirant Phillip Shaibu said the people of the state would resist Governor Obaseki during the upcoming gubernatorial election. Shaibu said Obaseki was plotting to install an outsider as his successor, hence he would be resisted during the election. Shaibu also accused the governor of betraying him despite his support and adding political value to Obaseki. Shaibu also said that he realized that he was duped in his investment in supporting Mr. Obaseki for the second term. Joining us on the show this morning for a right of reply to the Deputy Governor's interview is Chris Nehikhare, Edo State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Albati. Good morning, Myra.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Well, let's just go straight to business. Yesterday, Phillip Shaibu, Deputy Governor of Edo State, was with us. And he described the governor of Edo State, his principal, Governor Obaseki, as a traitor, as a man who betrayed him, despite all he did for him in terms of finances, in terms of helping him with his own political structure. And that when he thinks of Obaseki, he remembers the section of the Bible that says, the heart of man is desperately wicked. In other words, he was telling us yesterday that Governor Obaseki is a desperately wicked man. And that on top of it all, he's supporting an outsider, not himself, Phillip Shaibu, to succeed him as governor of Edo State. How wicked is Obaseki, your principal, as alleged by Shaibu?
Well, I listened to His Excellency Shaibu yesterday when he spoke on Arise Television. And we all know that when people are campaigning, when you're trying to get acceptance from the people, from the party they belong to, they allude to all sorts of things. They all say all sorts of things to get some form of sympathy or some form of recognition or some form of acceptance. And there were some things he said yesterday that were blatantly false. And that's the major reason why we think we need to speak up. Phillip Shaibu, the deputy governor, is number 2 man in the state. We all belong to the state executive council. And one of the most disturbing things he said yesterday was when he said that the governor is using taxpayers' money to fund an aspirant. I think Phillip Shaibu being number 2, His Excellency Phillip Shaibu, the deputy governor, being number 2, should provide proof to Nigerians for such a grievous allegation. It is completely false, it's irresponsible, and we challenge him to come out and show proof of that kind of allegation. Talking about treachery or betrayal and all those sort of things, they are irrelevant to politics, because you will notice politicians come out all the time to say someone has betrayed them. They never talk about the people for which they were elected. They never talk about that. Our government is focused on finishing strong. Our government is focused on providing services and providing infrastructure for the people of Edo State. We are not involved in this succession battle, which Shaibu has taken personally, and we wish him well. He's a member of the party and is free, like the governor has said so many times, to contest for it and ask the people of PDP to nominate him as their candidate. So when he makes issues of personalizing or talking about governor being wicked, governor betraying him, it beggars people to find out, how were you betrayed? Were you betrayed by being told that, Mr. Oga, wait till November before you start your aspiration? I also noticed he said there was no point in time was told that, or promised the ticket of the governorship. So at what point was he betrayed?
All right.
Our governor has been most magnanimous in giving assignment to Phillip Shaibu to run certain parts of the government under serious supervision from the governor. And I was also glad yesterday he actually confessed and confirmed that this government has done very well in the area of growth, in the area of infrastructure, and in all the parameters of measuring successive governments.
All right.
So now, when Phillip says he's been betrayed, we ask him, how were you betrayed?
All right. Okay, well, I mean, he talked about, and Dr. Batia mentioned that he supported the governor during, and even with finances, he said dollars and naira during his first and second term bid. In fact, he was introduced as a catalyst to that campaign because he had more grassroots support. But let's leave that. I want to talk about the fact that he's mentioned that Governor Obaseki wants to play the role of a political godfather. He says that this was the same thing they both tried to fight against before, with the previous governor of the state, in terms of now Senator Adams Oshiomhole, and that what they fought against is what Governor Godwin Obaseki is trying to reinstate in the state by supporting, being a political godfather and supporting, bringing someone who is an outsider, who doesn't know a lot about the state, in the person of Mr. Asue Godalo, as the anointed candidate. What do you make of this statement? Is there a reintroduction of a political godfather? Is that the role that the governor wants to play in this regard? And then one had, with all the peace meetings and all, one had thought that the relationship between the governor and his deputy had come to at least some peaceful situation. But Deputy Governor says that Governor Obaseki is determined to wage war against him to ensure that he's not able to step into that position. What do you make of these allegations or statements by the Deputy Governor?
Well, the Deputy Governor is clutching on all sorts of straws. First and foremost, I find it ridiculous when he says the governor wants to play the role of godfather. I'm a member of the State Exco. I was also the former public secretary of PDP. At no forum has the governor spoken to me or anyone that I know that he has a preferred candidate. However, we in Edo State know that we must put up our best as our candidates at all times. We're not going to compromise quality for rabble-rousers. We are not. We have lots of people interested in the position of governor that come from across the 3 territorial districts. And we do not see anyone as an outsider. Instead, we are proud that our sons have left Benin many years ago, set up businesses across the country. And those businesses are thriving. They have put in place mechanisms to make sure these businesses work out and people are running them even after they've exited their business. How can you now call that kind of a man an outsider? Meanwhile, here we have a deputy governor who has all his life been in politics. He left school, served as student union. He has not set up one single business that we can call it sustainable. But whatever he has made through the patronage of politics. We want the best of Edo at all times to come and run our state. That is all we are asking for.
Well, he said that the governor commended him. He said the governor commended him on many occasions. So what has changed? Is he no longer qualified? Government
commended him the way he commends me for carrying out assignments assigned to me. Doesn't make me the most suitable person or make the governor think I must take over from the governor. No. You commend people that work for you. When they do a good job, you say you've done well. There's no big deal about that. So what if you commended him? He commends me all the time. He sends me and says, Mr. Nehikhare, you have done well today. I like the process you've done. So that's what leaders do. They commend their subordinates. They commend those that work for them.
Okay, Commissioner.
And the deputy governor is working for the governor, and the government commends him for his job.
Okay, Nehikhare, who is the governor's candidate in Edo State? Because you just refer to, you say, oh, that man who has done businesses, who has done this and that. We want our sons who have done businesses to come back. Because in actual fact, I recall that Phillip Shaibu refused to mention Asue Godalo. He refused to mention him. We were asking him, this outsider you are talking about, is it Asue Godalo? He just sidestepped it. He didn't want to talk about him. But who is the governor's candidate? Who is that outsider? Who is the governor's candidate? Because it's clear to Phillip Shaibu that he's not the governor's candidate, and everybody knows he's not the governor's candidate. So who is the governor's candidate? Is it somebody that has been recommended by Danobi's Legacy Group, which is a very powerful lobby group in Edo PDP? Is it any other person that you know? You would like to share that with us?
Thank you very much. As I speak, I will not say, I do not know who the governor's candidate is. His Excellency has not told me that this is his preferred candidate. What I see going on in Edo is that Edo people have unanimously, within PDP, said we want the best for our state. And apart from Asue Godalo, other people have also come up asking for this same ticket. And when you look at the antecedents, you will notice that they have done well in whatever industries they have done, they are involved in, and we encourage them. But Phillip Shaibu did mention Asue Godalo. He made reference to outsider. And then when he used the word outsider, and I'm glad you asked him, is the man not from Edo State? The man is from Edo State. He grew up here like all the other people. They were born, they are Edo people. So whoever the governor's preference is doesn't determine who the candidate becomes. The candidate comes from who the delegates of the party choose on the day of the primaries. So I'm sure you know this is politics. And we always want the best so that we have something to showcase. So the governor's candidate will be the candidate the people provide on the day of the primaries in February. That will be the governor's candidate. And we all will go out to make sure that candidate becomes the next governor of this state.
All right. In terms of some of the things he said for plans, he talked about infrastructure as we begin to round off, just to share, because we're winding down the tenure of the governor, Governor Obaseki, and just a few key legacy things he's left behind 8 years afterwards. Well, just give us a little snapshot, because Mr. Shaibu said he was going to build on the work that the governor had done. Talked about a rail network, joining some areas in the state, and also infrastructural development. What are some key legacy projects and wins for the governor?
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, this government, like I say, we have very good stories to tell. We have produced some of the best talents in the entertainment industry in this country. And then to attract more and build more, we have what we now call the Victor Ivo Creative Hub here in Benin City, whereby talents come in to showcase their work. We also have the Oshomo power plant, which we did, got in power, and we have 24 power in the street lights and all government parastatals, and now we're also sharing to businesses. We have the Edo refinery, not just one, but 2 refineries, even though they are private. In the Edo refinery, we invested, although we have also divested now, but we invested to bring in investor to make sure that is working. They're producing diesel and other oil-based projects. We have the ethanol plants, one of the biggest in Africa, taking also here in Edo State. All these are things brought in by this government. And then we have what we call the Edo State Oil Palm Program, ESOP. That program has brought in over $500 million into our economy, because it's the biggest and largest palm program anywhere in the world right now. That has come in from this. We have huge state investment, and revived the Observer that had gone down for a very, very long time.
You also have a huge debt profile.
Legacies,
You have a huge debt profile that this administration is leaving behind. Very briefly, just to talk about that, because over 125 billion naira.
Yes, unfortunately, we do owe some money. All governments owe money. But then it became worrisome when the naira was devalued a few months ago. But then we have the advantage of having a long-term repayment plan for most of the monies we have borrowed, not short-term, long term, 20, 30 years. And they were borrowed for infrastructure, which are visible. Borrowed for education, which I'm sure Edo Best is one of the best education policy in the country today, and being copied by others, and even other subnationals. We have done a lot. We have the Benin City Mall, which is about 95% completed, wherein shops from all over the world are taking up spaces there. We've done a lot, and we have a good story to tell.
Yeah, on that note, we'd like to thank you very much, Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Edo State, Nehikhare, for joining us on the Monday Show.